All right, Greg, let's move to the offense. I was reading your notes today, and you might have an unpopular take about this
Shocking.
offense. What'd you think of that side of the ball on Sunday when you watched the film?
It's funny, like, when I have an unpopular opinion because I stay true to the film that's negative on the Patriots, everybody, calls me negative and all this stuff, but now
Yes.
I'm going to give this take and no one's going to have an issue with it because it's a positive take about the Patriots. My take on the Patriots offense after watching them against the Jets is that I think they were making progress. I thought this was a step forward for this offense. What are you talking about, Bedard? They only got 15 points. They couldn't do jack crap in the second half. They punted like 6 times. What are you talking about, you freaking idiot? Like, I understand, but I'm just telling. There's a couple things that make me think this. Number one is I don't think people understand how good the Jets defense is. It's really, really good. I mean, we talked about it coming in. Their defensive line, their linebackers are really good. The cornerbacks are really good. Whitehead, the safety, is really good. Like, it's tough sledding. Now, did the Cowboys shred it the week before? Yeah, but again, it's an abnormal opponent. Those things happen. When you don't know teams that well, and look, the Cowboys had a day. What do you want? Sometimes you're just on. The Jets are really, really good. So that's number one. So it's going to be tough sledding. Number two, I thought, especially in the second half, I thought the offensive line started to get some movement in the running game. They started moving the line of scrimmage, which is, when you're watching on the coach's film, you can see it as clear as day. You can see the uniforms pushing forward. And I saw that more and more, certainly more than at any point so far this season. And to do that against this Jets defensive line, even though, some of it was when Quentin Williams was getting a breather, but I do think that was there on film. And so that was good. You saw some of the running game get going with Ezekiel Elliott at times, even with Ramondre Stevenson. So that was good. I think that they are gaining more confidence in the offensive line. So we saw them go under center more. We saw play action come in. The 58-yarder to, I think, both Pharaoh Brown catches came from play action. So I think that's a key for this team. And now, look, are still things off, especially in the passing game and, some of the play calls and things like that. Yeah. Let's also, and I know they didn't penetrate like the Jets 29-yard line the whole game. Again, look at the opponent. We're going to do the same sort of thing when we talk about the defense. So I think we're looking at apples and apples here. But I do think that against lesser defenses, against lesser fronts, I think they're going to be able to impose their will more in the running game. I think it's going to open up play action. There's a lot of work to do as far as sorting out who's going to do what in the passing game and what Mac trusts and what their bread and butters are going to be. They're still figuring that out. It's a little slow for me, but to me, there was little doubt watching the film by the end of the game, even though the results weren't there. And remember, they probably should have had another 6 points if Joe Cardona could snap the ball. This was a step forward for me. I know they are making progress as an offense.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by Fanduel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Ever wish you could navigate the betting field with the confidence of a pro? Enter Odds Are. They're not a sports book, but they're the sports betting advisor you've always needed. It's like having a playbook for smarter bets right in your pocket. I've been absolutely loving the experience, and I think you will too. Especially since Patriots Press Pass listeners get a 30-day free trial. Elevate your game day and join the smart betting revolution. Go get it at oddsr.com/presspass. That's oddsr.com/presspass.
Yeah, we can't sit back and say, oh, well, they only scored 13 offensive points against the Jets when we all spent last week talking about how good this Jets defense was. Nobody anticipated them to put up, 20 plus points against this defense. I actually thought, Greg, they moved the ball much better in the first half than I ever thought they would be able to move the ball against that defense. They moved it pretty well. They had over 200 yards of offense in the first half. Given the conditions, given the defense, I thought that was good. And I thought that was a positive step, like you're saying. Really, just to boil it down, and we're going to get into some other issues in a minute, but offensive line to me was the biggest issue the first 2 weeks. And I don't think it's crazy that the offensive line played a little bit better. Your offense played a little bit better. For the first time all year, you had your top 4 linemen out there playing together. So I know people kind of, their eyes glaze over when Greg gets into the nitty gritty sometimes talking about offensive line play, but it's crucial. And it's really tough to run consistent offense when your quarterback's running for his life and your running backs can't find any room to run the damn ball. So offensive line played better, offense played better. Let's get to the passing offense, Greg. What's the biggest problem that you see?
The biggest issue that I see is that they just don't know, the roles that certain people should be in. I mean, let's take, for example, the two Juju Smith-Schuster throws on third down. This is Juju lining up sort of inside and these routes going outside the numbers. The combination of Mac Jones and Juju Smith-Schuster working outside the numbers it's not good. We just know this. There's enough evidence from both guys. So it's not a high percentage play. Now, on both of those plays, I think that Mac was right. I thought that Mac threw good balls on both of those. It's just like Juju's got to figure out either Juju's got to figure out who he is at this point, which is basically a cached, outside the numbers receiver, or the Patriots need to not put him in that position. So should Juju be running those routes? No. Who should be running those routes? I don't know. I don't think they have a guy. I mean, what's interesting is talking to people around the team, and we talk about the whole Myers debate, and I think there's no doubt in my mind that if they brought in DeAndre Hopkins or somebody an upgrade on the outside and kept Jacoby Myers, do I think this team has a legit shot at being 3-0? Yeah, I do. But they made these choices, and from what I understand, Juju Smith-Schuster wasn't the Jacoby Myers replacement. And so far, the way they've used him, you see that. The Myers replacement was Mike Gesicki, which it furthers the point of, do the people in charge of Patriots personnel, specifically Bill Belichick, do they know what they're doing with offense? I mean, I think, you look at their defense and you could pick it. All right, this guy was picked to do this role and he knows what to do. And then, offense, it's apparent that nobody knows what anybody is good at. And it looks like they didn't have a plan coming into this season like this. We're signing this guy and this is what he's going to do. And this guy is going to do that. Like they just threw some average bodies and they said, well, we'll figure it out later. And to this point, they haven't figured it out. So, back to those throws, like Juju is going outside and he thinks he has a step on the cornerback, thinking like, I don't know, it's the Juju of 5 years ago that he can beat this guy up the sideline. He's not that guy anymore. And Mac knows that. And Mac says, all right, well, just like Jacoby would do, all right, work your leverage, like press the issue up the field and then break off real quick. Boom, back shoulder. We got a conversion. We're moving. That's the way Mac threw the ball. I thought they were correct. And so there's just a lot of that on film. Do I blame Mac for the throw to Demario Douglas? It looked like Mac sort of split it between Gesicki and Demario Douglas. But Demario had a step, and Mac threw it off his back shoulder and threw it crappy. His footwork was bad. Like, that had a chance to be a touchdown. And I don't know, he just kind of half-assed it. He does that at times, which I don't like. But, the big thing, and the other thing with Juju and Mac, and talking to people around the team, because I asked them, I'm like, do these guys practice together? They don't look like they practice together at all. And the answer I got was, they practice together sometimes. I mean, I think that has to do with Juju's
what
health.
The hell?
I mean, how are you expected to have a precision passing game? The game is on the line. You have a quarterback and wide receiver who are working together, and they need to know each other like the back of their hand. And they don't. They look like strangers. Why? Because they don't practice that much together. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here.
With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Head to factormeals.com/PressPass50 and use code PressPass50 to get 50% off. That's code PressPass50 at factormeals.com/PressPass50 to get 50% off.